Good afternoon, everyone. So today I am going to take your session. My name is Rashmi and I work in the physics department of CCL. Today we will be having a session on balloons and bottles. So I'm very excited to interact with all the students that are here. I can see students from KGBB Dubak and KGBB Manakondu. So, hello and good afternoon, everyone. We have about 90 schools that have joined. And the first thing that I want to ask you all is, do you have the materials? So today, in our session, we mostly need plastic bottles and we need some balloons and few other things. So I'm just going to ask you a question that do you have all the material with you? So you can see a question on your screen asking if you have all the materials, yes, no, some material, and you don't know what was the material. So this will be helpful. And if you want to see what was all the material that we needed, so you can see it on the screen. This is all the material that we needed. We need some hot water. So if you don't yet have hot water, go near the kitchen or in the bathroom where you have an electric rod. So take some hot water, not very boiling hot, but like hot. And you should have a pan. I will have to find my pan. It's somewhere outside. And you should have cold water with ice. You should have a few balloons. For example, balloons like this. You should have scissors or anything sharp. You should have plastic bottles. You should have some straws, Fevistick, some tape. So this is all the material that we need. Do you have all the materials? 60 to 70% have all the materials and 30% have some material. That's okay. So this is the result that we have. About 60 to 70% have some material and almost have like a little bit of the material. That's good. So this is our balloon and bottle session. I told you the material. If you are lacking something, you can go and grab it. In the meanwhile, I will talk about what we will be learning today. So we will be learning the relationship between temperature, pressure, volume, and amount of a gas. So we will be learning these different things and how we will learn them. We will learn them using balloons, which are inflated inside a bottle, like this one I have over here. And we will learn it using balloons by putting them in hot and cold water. So this is what we are going to do today. And before we start, I wanted to show you some of the responses that we got from the last session that Aditi had taken. So she had taken a session on number systems. I'm just going to share a video that I have over here. And, this was the response from KGBV, Lakhimpur. So let's have a look at it. So the video is loading and loading. Let's see. It's taking a minute.
12 नंबर को हाथ जनजाति में कैसे भरेंगे बताइए।
पांच कॉलम में 5 भरेंगे, फिर 2 बार 5 में 2 मुक्के 2 ताली।
और वृक्ष जनजाति में इसी 12 नंबर को कैसे लिखेंगे?
वृक्ष जनजाति में 7 कॉलम है, 7 एक पेड़ और 5 लाइनें।
So this was the video where they were converting one number system to another number system. One of the challenge was to make your own, number system and design a song around it. So this is the response from KGBV Kunti Jharkhand. It's also taking some time to load.
रेलगाड़ी चलेगा रेलगाड़ी चलेगा
So I think we have some internet issue on our end. So I hope at least I am clear and my video is clear.
रेलगाड़ी चलेगा
And then there was more responses which were, we had taken leaves. So this was from the tree tribe where different leaves were used to convert the number system. So these were some of the responses that we wanted to share for the challenge question. We will have an amazing challenge question today as well. And I look forward to your responses. So let's begin with our session. First of all, what I want you to do is, does everyone has a balloon? Every student should have at least one balloon. So please show me your balloons in the camera if you have one balloons with you. Are you ready? Okay. And do let me know if you need me to repeat anything in the chat. I will check the chat sometimes. So what do you have to do with this balloon? You have to inflate the balloons a few times to stretch its membrane. So it is like new balloon from packet. It will not be easy to blow it and perform our activity. So what we will do, we will stretch it a bit and we will blow it a few times. We will inflate it. Make sure not to burst the balloon. Inflate it a few times so that the balloon is stretching and our activity will be easy to do. Why are we doing it? So that the balloon is, it is stretched, it is loose, and it can blow even bigger after some time. So everybody has done this. You can either use your hand like this. Just make sure not to tear the balloon and not to burst the balloon. Now, what do we have to do after this? After this, you have to take your plastic bottle. So for example, I have a bottle. I have many bottles actually. I'm not sure which one to use. For example, I have a bottle over here. Any cold drink or, soda bottle, any Pepsi, anything, any bottle will work. So I have this bottle over here. I'm going to show it to you in overhead as well. This is a bottle I have. Does everyone has a similar bottle? If you have a plastic bottle which is in which water comes, so that may be hard to do. So if you have a bottle like this, which is not very hard, not very soft, that will be best for our activity. So once you have this bottle, what do you have to do is, you have to take your balloon. So this balloon, which I just blew a few times, and you have to put this balloon inside the bottle. I will show it to you again slowly in the overhead. What do you have to do? So this is my bottle. You can see this is my bottle. And you have to take the balloon and you have to put it inside like this with your finger. And then open the mouth of the balloon. And slowly cover it like this. So now our balloon is inside the bottle, right? This is what we have done. It can come out if I press the bottle, or it can go in as well. Now, once you have done this, what is the challenge? So this is the bottle. This has a balloon inside it. The mouth of the balloon, mouth of the bottle, they both are together. The challenge is, you have to inflate this balloon inside the bottle in such a way that the balloon is, the balloon is inflated and the hole is open. So that is what you have to do. I will do it with you. It's not hard. I can see some girls smiling of Siddipet. So you may have done this previous time. So let me see if you know how to do it. So for example, this is my balloon. I will try to inflate it and let's see how much I can do it. It's very hard. Only this tiny bit is blowing. Again, very little. and again very little. So is there any girl who has, so that the first challenge or the first activity is, you have to blow the balloon in such a way that it is open from up, so the air can go inside, outside. The balloon is not tied with anything, and it is also inflated inside the bottle. So can you do it? Is it possible to do it? Are you able to do it? So what did we do? We have a balloon outside, we put it inside the bottle, and we try to blow it, but we are not able to blow it. I can see the girls from KGBV Andhro trying as well. So they're trying. So is it possible? How much are you able to blow? So keep your energy, because 3 seconds you're able to blow. So keep your energy with you, because we need our cheeks and our lungs constantly in this session. So don't overdo it as well. So what we're going to do next is repeat. Okay. So I will repeat. What do we have to do is, we take a balloon, we put it inside the bottle, and what do we have to do? We have to blow it so much that it remains inflated inside the bottle. So this is very little. And what do we have to do? We have to convert this bottle into this bottle in which you can see that, we can go inside and the balloon is inflated. But when I try to do it with this bottle, it's not possible. So why is this not happening? So I will talk about this as well. So first of all, we can see it's very hard, right? We are not able to blow the balloon big in size. It's very little. And as soon as I remove my mouth, it again shrinks in size. So why is that happening? So let us see why is that happening. First of all, there is something called, pressure. So the air around us, we have air, oxygen, nitrogen, everything that is around us, that has some, so all the air has some pressure, water has some pressure, everything has some pressure or the other. The air is at atmospheric pressure. So it has some value, but air is at atmospheric pressure. And if I wanted to show air, some particles of air, this is how they are scattered. There is some air inside the balloon, there is some air inside the bottle, there is some air, outside the balloon, outside the bottle. It is like this, nothing happens. What happens when I try to blow the balloon? Why is the balloon not inflating? Because when I try to blow the balloon, I am putting more air inside the balloon. So what happens is, when we put more and more air inside the balloon, it starts to stretch, and there is high pressure inside the balloon. What happens to the air inside the bottle? So there is only limited amount of space that is there inside the bottle, and the balloon starts to take some space as it is growing bigger. So the air inside the bottle has now less space, because of which it also increases the pressure. So the balloon has high pressure and the bottle has high pressure. Both of the air that is inside the balloon and inside the bottle, they are at high pressure, and the bottle can't increase its size more. So the balloon stops to inflate after a few seconds. So why is it not growing bigger in size? Because I would need a lot more pressure from my lungs. I would need a lot more energy to compress the gas that is inside the bottle, and that is very difficult. It's not possible for my lungs. So the balloon only grows a little bit in size. And why is this? Because the pressure inside the balloon, inside the bottle, and outside air, now they are different. Air is at normal pressure, but inside the balloon and bottle, when I blow, there is high pressure. And there is one thing about the air. Air moves from high pressure to low pressure. So as soon as I remove my mouth, all the high pressure air comes outside to the low pressure air. And that is why the balloon, the air from inside the balloon comes out. So this is the basic science why the balloon is now not going bigger in size. And this can be also understood as, if the amount is same in two bottles or in two places, but one has less volume and the other has more volume. So if the volume is less, the pressure increases. If the volume is increased, the pressure decreases. So they both are, related in this manner, opposite manner. So if you increase the volume of a bottle, its pressure decreases. If you decrease the volume of a bottle, its pressure increases. So what is happening when I blow some air inside the balloon? The balloon is getting bigger, but there is less space, less volume for the molecules of air to accommodate, and that is why they are at a high pressure. And we don't want high pressure, so we want low pressure only. How we can get low pressure? So that is what you should think about, how we can get some low pressure. Do you have any ideas how I can stop the pressure from increasing? What can I do? So right now the pressure is increasing when I try to blow the balloon, and I don't want pressure to increase. So what can I do? You think, how can I stop the pressure to rise from inside the bottle? I can do something, which is I can decrease the air that is inside the bottle. What if I leak some air? How can I leak some air from inside the bottle? If I make a small hole in the bottle. How can I make a hole? I have my scissors over here. So you grab a pair of scissors and you have to make a hole. But the question is, where should you make the... So don't make a hole just now, because you can make a hole anywhere. You can make a hole on top of bottle, middle of bottle, lower half of bottle. So first of all, I want to ask you, if we make a hole, then this problem of high pressure, low pressure is going to solve itself. But how should we where should we make the hole? That is, keep the hole to the bottle, but what should be the location of the hole? Should it be A, should it be B, should it be C? So I actually have a quiz for this, and I will ask you that. Okay, and you can tell me, and that is where we will make the hole. Okay. So where should we make a hole? Should we make a hole on top of bottle, middle of bottle, or the A is like very, very up, B is like somewhere in the middle, C is like somewhere in the lower half? Where should we make it? So you can answer me A, B, C in your poll as well, and that is where we will make the hole. So 30 schools have answered. You can discuss. We have some time. Okay. So about 50 schools have answered. But we have 200 plus schools joining us. So I want more of them to answer this question. Where should we make a hole? I will give you a hint. I will show it to you. When I blow the balloon, this is how it looks like. So now where do you think the schools that are remaining, where should we make a hole? Is there going to be any problem in location A, B, C? If yes, then what should be the best place to make a hole? And if you have a lot of bottles, you can actually try making a hole at different places, either during the session. So if you have, let's say, 10 bottles, try making a hole at different places. Different girls can make holes at different places, and then we will see, is there any problem? So about 90 schools have answered. I'll wait till 100 plus have answered, and then we will move on. What happens when we make a hole? Is there any solution as soon as we make the hole? But first I will show it to you. How can you make the hole? Okay, so I'll end the poll now. More than half are saying we should make it at C. Some are saying we should make it at A or B. So, it is going to matter a bit, and I will show you why. So for example, I have 3 holes. I will show it to you in the overhead. This is my bottle, and I will remove the balloon. So this is my bottle. Now there are 3 holes that I had made inside it. This is the first hole. Over here was the first hole. And I actually had some tape on it, so I can remove the tape. And now you can see it clearly. This is where my first hole is. Okay. And how you can make this hole, that is also I'm going to show it to you. So this is where I have my first hole. Now look at the size of the hole. It's actually very small. It's actually a very small hole. You don't have to make a very large hole because that is going to be hard to cover eventually. So you can take something like, this thing, or you can take a scissor as well. Anything works. You can take a scissor as well. I'm going to show it to you. You make a hole somewhere here. Just insert it. And be careful when you make a hole. So I have a little hole. And then I will use my scissors, one end of the scissor, and I will just do this motion for a little time. And I will get a hole that is, so over here, little, the scissor is going to go inside. And now I have a hole. So you can see I have a hole which is over here. This is the hole I have made. So you can see again, this is the hole I have made using a scissor, or anything else you can use a cutter. Now what do we have to do? We will take our balloon. It's obviously inside the bottle. I removed mine. And now what we will do is, we will try to blow the balloon. So here is the balloon. And let's try to blow it. Is there any change now? So all of you can turn your videos on. Let us see. Everybody doing it together with me. Okay, let's see them doing it together with me as well. Okay. So what do you have to do? Just blow it. So it's very hard for me. I think I did not put the balloon right. I'll try again. So you put the balloon, if your balloon is not blowing, it should blow. Why did we make a hole? Because we knew that if the amount of gas was same and the pressure was also same, not the pressure, if the temperature was same. So if these things are same, like the temperature is not changing, the amount of gas is not changing, but if we decrease the volume, the pressure is going to increase. So now we are not keeping the amount of gas constant. As soon as I fill more air inside the balloon, some air comes out of this hole. So, this balloon takes some area, takes some volume inside the bottle, but some air comes outside of the bottle. So inside the bottle, there is no increase in pressure. And that is why it is so easy to blow the balloon, as if we are doing it outside a bottle. So you can see very easily, I'm blowing the balloon and the air inside it. So what happens? So if I have a bottle, like this, and I'll just show it to you in slide over here, and then I'll explain it alongside. So if I have, something like this, I'm blowing the balloon, it becomes larger in size. What happens? Inside the balloon, there is high pressure, but in the bottle and outside air is at normal pressure. So that is what happens. So this is my bottle over here. This is my bottle. And, inside the balloon, so this is not a good bottle to do any markings on. I'll try it with this bottle. So inside this, top area, when the balloon is in full size, what happens? Inside the balloon, there is high pressure, but everywhere else in the bottle, what happens? There is normal pressure or low pressure. Why is there normal pressure? Because the air that, this balloon is taking some size, it grows in size, but then the air can come out and it can move out very easily. So if I have a bottle over here like this, and it has a hole, and I'm trying to blow a balloon inside it. If the balloon becomes bigger in size, like it becomes very big in size, it is going to take more volume inside the bottle, but all the air can come out. And because the amount of air has now changed, the amount of gas has now changed, we don't have the high pressure building up. And that is why we are very easily able to blow this balloon. So I'm going to show it once again. And I want to see the girls doing it as well. I'm doing a lot of explanation, but I'm not seeing. Okay, I can see girls of KGBV, Jainur holding the balloon like me. So I have not yet told you how to hold the balloon. I have only told you how to blow the balloon. So as soon as I remove my mouth, the balloon again shrinks. It's not how I showed in the beginning, right? The balloon maintains its shape. So our challenge is, this is what our challenge is. So we are able to blow the balloon, but how to keep it open? As soon as I remove my mouth, the balloon shrinks again. So what do you think we should do to keep the balloon open like this? Is there something that I can do? You think of it and then I will ask you. Can we do something? Let us see. If somebody can write in the chat or they can raise their hand, what should I do with this bottle so that my balloon is inflated, but it stays inflated? Because as soon as I remove my mouth, the balloon closes again. So what should I do with the bottle? So it just decreases in size. What should I do? So I'm waiting for the girls to give me an answer. I'll wait for a minute. I can see a lot of girls. I can see them over here. Of KHB Viandro, and they are from Shrivanti Srira Moji CRT Physics. So I can see that you have a balloon inside the bottle, and how is it inflated? We need the hole in the bottle. Yes, we need the hole, but the hole is only helping to keep to blow the balloon bigger in size. But what should I do to keep it big? Because as soon as I remove my mouth, the balloon, keep the finger on the hole. What will that do? What will holding the hole do? So I can see is responding with, you should hold the balloon, you should hold the hole. But what will that do? Will that do something? So let's try holding the hole. And now the balloon stays inflated. Why is it so? Why is the balloon inflated? It is actually decreasing because my hole is not good. I'll show you how good hole looks like. So I'll take another balloon. I have a lot of balloons, and this is why if you have many balloons, it is even more fun because you can try a new balloon in a new bottle. Okay. So I have a new balloon. And what I have done is, I'll show it to you in the overhead. I have put a tape on the hole. So, this is the hole. You can see this was the hole. I have a tape. I can close the hole using this tape or my finger. So let us see what happens when I do that. I have this bottle and this is my tape over here. And now the balloon stays inflated. So this is how the balloon stays inflated. How many of you are able to do it? You just need a tape to close the hole. Let me see in the camera if you have achieved this. You blow the balloon, keep the hole open. So don't keep the hole closed. Otherwise, there is no use of making a hole. Why did we make the hole? We want to decrease the amount of air. We want to release the air because the balloon is taking some volume. Just like if we go inside a pool or if we go inside a lake or anything like that, if we go inside, some water comes out. So the balloon is taking some air inside the bottle. Some air needs to come out. If it does not, the balloon cannot grow big in size. So I have this tape. You should stick the tape or you should hold the hole with your finger before removing your mouth, because as soon as you remove your mouth, the air will come out. Now there is, we can see the hole is also there. Okay, over here you can see the balloon is open from the top and it is inflated. And I had my two other holes, so I'm going to show it to you, just demonstrate it very, very quickly. What happens if I close the bottom hole, but I use some other hole? So I will open the second hole and let us see how big I can inflate. So you can see it is very little difference in size is there. And let me see with first hole, the hole number A, how big I can blow the balloon when I'm using the hole A. you can see it is smaller in size. Why is it smaller in size? Because the hole actually, this hole actually covers like the boundary of the balloon, or the balloon and the bottle, they are so close together, the air cannot go outside. And that is why we need a hole that is somewhere in the lower bottle so that the air can go quickly outside. So what did we learn till now? I am just going to show it to you very quickly once again. So why is it inflated? What happened? Why is it not, air is not coming out of this balloon? Because as soon as I cover the hole, what happens? The balloon tries to shrink. It does shrink. But as soon as it shrinks, what happens? Very little change. It decreases the size very little. Then the volume, and I have closed this hole. So when the balloon decreases its size just a little bit, now there is more volume for the air inside the bottle. So what did we learn a little while ago? If the volume increases, then the pressure, what happens? The pressure decreases. And now there is low pressure inside this bottle and high pressure inside the, not high, or normal pressure of everywhere in the air. So if we talk about this, if I just hide myself from over here, we can see this, that if I have a bottle like this, if there is some amount P pressure of air, everywhere in the air, this is everywhere, this is P. And thus we have, this hole everywhere, it's P1. And inside the balloon is P2. But because air can go freely inside, outside, they both are equal. P1 and P2, they both are equal. What about the air that is inside the bottle that is remaining? That is at a lower pressure, and because of which the balloon stays inflated. So it depends how your pressure is increasing or decreasing. How, if there is low pressure inside the bottle, the balloon cannot decrease its size because it will lower the pressure so much, and that is not possible. Just similar how when I was trying to increase the pressure, very high pressure inside this bottle, try to blow it, that was also not possible. So some things are not very easy to do, to increase very high pressure inside a bottle, or to decrease the pressure very much, to decrease the pressure and make it a low pressure or make it high pressure. We can just keep it, the change in pressure can be only a little bit. So that is why now that we have low pressure inside the bottle, the balloon, the air is not come out because it will decrease the pressure even more. And one thing you can try that I have over here is, I can just show it to you. You don't have to do it right away. You can do it later. For example, I have another balloon. Instead of blowing air through the balloon, what can you do? So I have this. Instead of blowing air inside the balloon, is there any way to inflate it? I'm going to show. I have included a straw over here. As you can see, there is a straw. I have used fevibond, so you can do this later. Use a plastic straw and some fevibond, Fevistick, to close the hole. And now see what happens. I can decrease, I was making low pressure inside this bottle to inflate the balloon. What if I decrease the amount of air and then create a low pressure? You see how this works. So I have to suck the air. So it's very hard to close the hole, but you saw I'm not blowing any air from the top. I am only sucking out the air and the balloon starts to inflate on its own. So it's hard to close the hole. But if you can see a balloon just inflates on its own. Or if you don't have straw yet, what you can do is you can put your mouth over here and then try to suck the air. Or what happens if you blow the air? So it works like a fan then. So this was how we can change the volume, and then we have a change in pressure. Or if we change the pressure, then we have a change in volume. We will do one more thing. And before that, I'm going to ask you a question actually. Before we move to the next activity, you can bring your hot water and cold water ready. Meanwhile, we are doing this quiz. You can bring hot water and cold water. So how you can change the pressure of a gas? So we learned one thing, that definitely if we change the amount of gas, that if gas was coming outside from the hole, then there was a change in pressure. Like if there was no hole, then the pressure was increasing because there was volume. So volume and amount of gas we saw till now. Temperature we did not check because air temperature, bottle temperature, balloon temperature, everything was constant. We did not do any change in this yet. So what do you think? How we can change the pressure of gas? Is it just amount of gas? Is it volume? Is it temperature? Or is it all of the above? So you can just do it very, very quickly. And then I'm going to show it to you what happens. So about 77 schools have answered. We want more answers. What do you think? How we can change the pressure of a gas? So gas has some pressure. It is known as 1 atmospheric pressure. Its value is 1. If I keep gas inside a bottle, for example, this is the bottle I have. This is a bottle that I have over here. And I close the cap of the bottle. Now it is airtight, that no air can go inside or come out. If I try to, do this, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to decrease the volume of the air. So there is going to be high pressure inside this bottle, and that is why I can't decrease it very much. If I try to, stretch the bottle, I can't stretch this bottle. I can only decrease it in size. But if I could stretch the bottle like I can stretch a balloon, then also there is going to be low pressure inside it because the volume is increasing. So volume increasing and decreasing has a change in pressure. Amount of gas increasing and decreasing also has a change in pressure, as we just saw. But you have to think, does temperature has a role? And if temperature has a role, then is it all of the above? Or it does not matter whether we have gas at high temperature or low temperature, pressure does not matter. So let us see some girls who are doing this activity. I can see a lot of girls are near the camera. Do you not have the balloons with you and the bottles? Let us see. I can see some girls of KGBV, Maha, Bhubnagar, Urban. So your balloons are outside the bottle. I think you have a straw and you're trying to increase it outside the bottle. That is fun. You are blowing the balloon. So try to blow the balloon inside the bottle by sucking the air, because that is more hard. Blowing we already know, so this is similar to how we blow. This is easy. Try to suck the air from the straw to make it inflate inside the bottle. That is even more interesting. Let us see some other girls that we have over here with us. And we have girls from Tripura. I can see Tripura, KGBV, Damchira. So you have already done it. Is there a hole in the bottle? Is there a hole? Where did you make the hole? In the lower half, I think. Okay, it is in the lower half. Later, try to insert a straw inside it as well. Okay, try to do it with a straw as well. And let us see if we have other girls. So I will just close my poll. So let us see what are the results of the poll. We have 100. So 30% of the people think it's all of the above. 30% think change in volume, 30% amount of gas, and 10% think change in temperature. So in the next activity, we will see how a change in temperature is actually very helpful. Okay. So I will bring some hot water and cold water with me. So over here, I have some hot water. I'm just going to quickly bring some cold water as well. And then I'm going to show it to you, and then I'll do the activity. So this is where I have some hot water. I'll bring some more. So just give me a minute. And in the meanwhile, this is what you have to do. You have to take your bottle and you have to put it inside the hot water, and then you have to put it inside the cold water and see what happens. So you should have two pans. And I'm back. I have some hot water inside this bottle, and I'm just going to quickly pour it over here. It's very hot water. Enough, I think. And I have some ice with me. I'll put on the ice later on. So what we have to do is we have to take a bottle, and we should use the bottle without a hole. So we have a bottle that has a hole, right? Try to do it with a bottle that has a hole and repeat it with a bottle that has no holes. So do it twice. So first of all, I'm going to do it with a bottle that has no hole, okay? Balloon blow in hot water, okay. So if we can have Diksha highlighting the videos of the schools that are doing it along with me, that is going to be very nice. If I can see some girls doing this activity with me. So what you have to do is, you have to put this bottle inside the, so over here, I have to put this bottle inside the hot water and see what happens. So I'm going to clear everything else. There's a little bit of water that came. Why does it come? So that is a very interesting question, because I have some ice over here. So my bottle is inside the hot water, and what is going to happen, we will see. Pressure increases. Why is the pressure increasing? So we know that to blow a balloon, we need high pressure, right? We take the air from our lungs, we blow it with high pressure, with a lot of force inside the balloon, and that is why it inflates. And right now, the balloon that is inside this, inside this bottle, it is actually going to come out slowly and slowly. And if you have okay, and if you have a little bit of more hot water, this balloon is actually going to come out like this. So I don't have this much hot water to make it outside like this. I will need a little bit more hot water. So I will bring that. In the meanwhile, what I'm going to do is, I am going to put this bottle in the ice, and let us see what happens after that. So let me just, this is what you have to do. What I'm going to do is, I am going to bring out my ice and put it, and you need to put the bottle inside some ice cold water now. Okay. So I will need some minutes, because I am trying to bring out the ice. I have a lot of ice with me. Ah. So I have my ice ready, and let us try to put this bottle inside the ice cold that we have. So I have some ice, and I've put my bottle inside, and let us see what happens now. So what do you think should be happening? If I have air, which is which has high temperature, and if I have air which has low temperature, is there going to be any change in the pressure? The particles get some energy. When do the particles get more energy? So right now the air has particles, it has some energy. If we give those air particles some heat, some high temperature, like from hot water, and if we give those particles some cold, from the ice, when are they going to have more energy? If we give them temperature, if we give them heat. So when particles get heat, some energy, they move with very high speed, and that increases the pressure, and gas or air at high temperature, it moves with high speed, but it also expands, and that is why it needs more volume. And if we have air at cold temperature, it does not move with a very high speed, and it decreases its temperature, but at the same time what happens, it decreases its volume. It does not need a lot of volume, it compresses. So right now the balloon, if you had a very what should I say, if you had very hot water versus very cold water, you will notice that this balloon actually goes inside. Hot water has high temperature, yes. So my balloon, I think some air is leaking out, so I will fix my balloon and do it once again. So if your balloon is not inflating, it could be that some air is leaking out, like it is leaking out in my case. So what am I going to do is, I'm going to remove this balloon and I'm going to put it inside the bottle once again and repeat the experiment until I get the result that I want. Okay. And my balloon is now wasted. So I will use another balloon, which is, okay, I have a new balloon over here. And I will blow it a few times. So whenever you are using a new balloon, you should make sure that you stretch it a few times, because otherwise it is going to be very hard for it to inflate. So if you are using a new balloon, we will do the first activity again. What do we have to do in this activity? We are not changing the amount of gas because there is no hole inside the bottle. And what are we doing is, we are putting this bottle inside the cold water, and then we will see what happens. So as you can see, the balloon is actually increasing its shape, and I'll just show it to you. If I can. Give me a second. Okay. So if you see this from this side, so this is the balloon that I have over here. And if you see it, so I think the video is now opposite. Okay. I will have to do it like this. And now I think you can see, right? So when I put this bottle in the cold water, you can see how it is actually blowing inside. And if I put the same bottle inside some hot water, what is going to happen? Let us see very quickly. The balloon actually shrinks. The balloon has shrank, and what is happening? The pressure inside the bottle wants to rise, and it starts to rise a little bit, but at the same time, what is happening is, we have a balloon, so the bottle cannot blow, it cannot increase its size, but the balloon can increase its size. So if it is at under some pressure, some high pressure, what is going to happen is, it will suddenly start to blow. And as you can see over here, so the more hot water you have, the more easier it is going to be. And slowly this balloon is going to come out, and slowly it will pop out like this. and then it is going to have even more air inside it. So let me see how many of you, I'm going to put this bottle for a little while over here. Yes. So I'm going to put this for a little while over here, and I'm going to show what the other girls are doing. So let us see. I can see girls of Miss Kavita Chenty when they have some hot water and some cold water. Okay. And I can see girls of Miss Bhagyalakshmi from Ikpur, I think. They also have hot and cold water. So right now, cold water, I have cold, ice cold water, but my hot water is not very hot. So if you are able to have, very hot water and very cold water, this experiment is going to be even more beautiful. So let us see with KGBV Kodakanda, Kodakandla. I can see the girls over there, and let us see other girls as well who are doing this experiment. So you need hot water and you need cold water. You put your bottle, which has a balloon on top, no hole in the bottle, and then put it inside hot water and cold water, and notice the change. What is happening over here? Let us see. I have girls of KGBV, Mahababnagar once again, which are having, so the water quantity also matters. Right now you're doing it in small bowls. Try to take a big pan in which, yes, just like girls of the other Mahababnagar urban, they have big pans or utensils. You can even take a bucket if you want. So try to measure, same amount of water, hot water and cold water, and put it inside two different places. And let us see if we have other girls as well who are doing it from which other places. Other girls, so I can see a lot of girls from Telangana, and I remember I did this activity with Telangana girls once before, and we did even other activities also. So everyone who has done it, I want to show it, turn on your camera and show it in the camera that yes, I have done it. You can raise your hand, you can wave in the camera, and we will spotlight you and we will unmute you as well. So I want to see you putting it in hot and cold water if you have access to that. Hot water, just put some water, on the gas, and cold water, if you have access to a fridge, try to grab some cold water as well. You can do this later if cold water is not available. And let us see more girls who are from over here. Shri Devi, KGBV Kismatpur from Rangareddy. They are trying with the straw, I can see. What about other girls? Do you have hot water and cold water? Not yet. No hot and cold water. At least try in hot water. Cold water is hard to get, but hot water is easy to get, right? You can go in the kitchen, turn on the gas and grab some hot water, and then put your bottle inside it. So let us quickly see what is happening when this, we will do it later. Okay, no problem. Do it later, but you have to, send me the video. And I will tell you the challenge as well. You have to send me the video in the group, in the KGBV group. So what happens? Assuming if the pressure is same. So interestingly, the pressure does not remain the same. If we try this, instead of a balloon, if I try this activity, same activity, putting my bottle in hot and cold water with a plastic bag, like some polythene bag, you will see that is going to have, then the plastic polythene or poly bag will show this result even more quickly, because the polythene bag does not has this elasticity. If amount of air goes inside it, it will blow very easily. But this balloon, it needs more pressure to blow. So once we put this bottle without a balloon, so I have this bottle, right? I have this bottle, it has no hole. If I just turn off the cap of this bottle, or if I close the cap of this bottle, a lot of my things are falling down. So if I put the cap of this bottle and if I close this, Now, if I put it in hot water, nothing much is going to happen because there is air inside this. There is that air has some pressure and the amount of air is fixed. The amount is volume is also fixed because plastic cannot grow its size. It can't just grow bigger or grow smaller in size. So for some point of time, the pressure is going to increase. Then either this bottle may melt or we will have to check what happens. But if we put a balloon instead of this cap, happen to the camera, yes. Instead of this cap, if I put a balloon like this, as soon as the air pressure starts to rise because the temperature is starting to rise, then the balloon is going to grow bigger in size because that is not completely solid structure that cannot change its shape. Balloon can very easily change its shape. It can grow bigger in size. It can stretch. And that is why we used it. If you use a polythene, that will not stretch, but it can have some air inside it, then it is also very interesting to do. So you can try this activity with a polythene bag later. But the relationship that we can learn from this is that if the volume is if the temperature is increasing, so I should have wrote this not like this, but instead something like this. Okay, because that is better. Why? Because I am saying that if the temperature rises, then what happens? We need more volume. So this is what we have. If the temperature rises inside a bottle, if the amount of gas is same, but its temperature is now higher, then it is going to need more volume. It needs more volume because the gas which has high temperature, it expands. Gas which has less temperature, it needs less volume. Gas which has more temperature, it needs more volume. And gas which has more temperature, it also has more pressure. So high temperature means high pressure and more volume. Low temperature means less volume and less pressure. So this is how these things are related. And I am going to ask you another question. Let us see. I had one more question to ask you in the quiz, which was related to this activity, which is over here. Oh, I should have asked this question earlier. If you have hot and cold water, this is the question. So I just told you the answer 2 minutes ago. If the balloon, we saw, right? When we put the bottle inside cold water with the balloon on top, the balloon gets sucked inside, right? It blows. Why is it blowing inside the bottle? Why is it not blowing outside the bottle? It is blowing inside the bottle. So if I put the bottle inside cold water, it will have cold air. The air will cool down. So does cold air needs less volume or cold air needs more volume? Cold air means less temperature. So I will give you a hint so that most of you can get this right. And then we will move towards the end of the session where I will tell you what is the challenge question. So this is your hint. You can take the hint. And let us see. A. So A and B. What is A and B? You have to choose from, does cold air needs more volume or less volume? What is constant? Assume that the pressure is constant and assume that the amount of air is also constant. It is same. Amount is not changing because there is no air that is going inside or outside the bottle. Everything is sealed. Balloon is stretchy, so it can increase its size. There is more temperature. What does it do? There is less temperature. What does it do? So I will wait for 1 minute and then I will close it. Okay. We have only 70 schools that have answered this. So only 70 schools have answered this. I want you to quickly just answer so that we can move towards the challenge question that we have over here. Hot water has more volume. What about cold water? Why? Because cold air has less volume. Hot water has more volume. KGBV Sang game. Okay. So we will end the poll because the right answer was shared in the chat. So about 70% of you told that cold air needs less volume, and that is why the balloon gets sucked inside and not outside. So I will stop sharing this. And what is the challenge question today? So I will show you the challenge question. The challenge question is, how many balloons can you actually fit inside? That is the challenge that you have over here. I will help myself somewhere else. Okay. So how many balloons can you fit inside a bottle? So your challenge is, you learn how to blow or keep a balloon inside this bottle. It's very easy. You just put it inside and you can blow a balloon inside. But now you have to learn how to trap a balloon inside a bottle. It's not hard. You just have to figure it out how to do it. And they don't have to just trap one balloon. You have to at least trap 3 balloons, 4 balloons, or even more balloons, and then send a picture or a video of doing that. So for example, I have this balloon, but it is not trapped inside. I have to put a tape, on this hole, and somehow I have to tie this balloon, and then I have to bring this balloon lower and do one more balloon on top, and then one more and one more. However many are possible for you. So this is the challenge question. For this thing, you should record a video, or you should take a picture of the girls after they have done this and upload it in the Google form, or just share the video or the pictures in the group. We will try big balloon 3 or 4. So you can try with a big bottle. You can make more than one holes. You can use straw. You can use hot and cold water. You can try anything. Everything that you want. Should try to think other ways. So in this session, what did we do? What did we learn? What we learned. Okay. So what did we learn today? We learned the relationship between amount of gas, temperature, pressure, and volume. Amount of gas was sometimes constant, sometimes it was not. Pressure was changing, temperature was changing, volume was changing. These things were changing, and we learned that using balloon inside a bottle, inflated, and putting the balloons in hot and cold water. So that is it for my session. If you have any questions, you can ask in the chat. You can raise your hand and we can talk, because I have only taken 3 extra minutes and I can take 5 more. So if you have any doubts, or if you want to show, you can very quickly do it. And I'm just going to share one last poll with you, which is over here. And this is on the feedback of today's session. If you can just give me feedback very quickly. And in the meanwhile, I am going to see the girls doing the activity. Okay. So we have KGBV, MBNR, who have a bottle, but the balloon is not inflated. So I hope they will try to inflate it. Okay. Gas, temperature, volume, pressure. Yes. So there is, in higher classes, you will learn, there is an equation where you can put this thing. It's called the gas equation. But in this class, we only learned some basic things of that. Where did my video go? So let us see very quickly. Does anybody wants to show anything or say anything? No, nothing. Did you enjoy today's class? We have out of 128 people, only 15 have answered so far. Come on, you others can also answer it. And I will try to spotlight a few students. For example, let me spotlight them and ask them, how was the session from Tripura KGBV Damchira? Hello, you can unmute. You have the access to unmute. And I don't know this Motorola Moto G32, ma'am, you can change the name to your KGBV name. Does the girl want to say anything, or they want to ask any question? If they need any help in the challenge question, I can help. Let us see. Hello. So you can actually unmute. You can unmute. You have the option to unmute.
Bye, madam. Then bye, madam. You can do. Bye, madam.
Bye bye. Those who are saying bye, bye bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, bye. Good night. Good evening.
Good evening. Evening time. Both of you.
Bye, bye. Bye, madam.
Bye bye.
Bye bye, Sophie. Gila sa budget. Rama nagbalik. Bye bye.
Bye bye to all the students that joined today. And I will be waiting for your answers and your videos. We'll share the homework. And I will quickly end the session. Here. Okay. And I've ended the session.